This is it, man. Hey, look, all the preliminaries are out of the way.
Yeah.
It's playoff time in Texas, and everybody is happy. Well, not everybody. Not everybody is happy. I was adding it up when I was coming over here today, Pete, and I think that 23 teams made it out of 50 some. I mean, so in other words, almost half the teams in the Valley will be participating in the playoffs.
Gotcha.
First of all, let me just get your reaction to that number. That's an interesting thing. Is that a lie? Is that too many teams? And I don't want to be negative, but
not that it says it takes away from some of the wins or some of the teams that deserve. Not that none of them don't deserve to be there, but maybe it cheapens it a little bit, allowing so many teams in.
Well, I remember back. You can close your ears if you don't want to hear this again. I remember when there's only one team that made the playoffs, and then two, and then three, and now four. So the argument goes this way. Okay, so yes, it doesn't mean as much to make the playoffs because some teams with average or bad records make it. The case in point is Lafayette at 3-6, who's in the playoffs. All right, no offense to Lafayette. Oscar Salinas is my boy. The positive is that, and Oscar and any other coach would tell you, you get more kids to participate,
Exactly.
more bands, more fans, more things.
More revenue.
It spreads it around. Well, yeah, more revenue. There is that. Yeah, the great almighty dollar. It doesn't matter. Let us move on from that note because I thought I'd make that because every time we get into the playoffs, I think to myself,
but
how
good
can
for
someone
them.
be in at 3
Yeah,
and 6?
no, but good for them. I mean, they obviously worked hard in their own respect and they got in.
3-6, and all of a sudden, what happens if they make a run? I remember one year, LaFerrier ended up going 3 deep. They beat Banderas. So, I mean, you never know. In other words, it's an argument that is worth having every now and then for fun, but you can't win it or lose it because there's no right answer. Now, talking sports now begins after that brief interlude. I know, what are we, like, meet the press here? What the heck? Let's talk about the brackets because Pete went and printed out these brackets for us, and I'm pretty excited about it. So, where to begin? Because every matchup is fun to talk.
It really is. We might as well just start with Friday. Friday, we got McAllen Memorial and Harlingen at Harlingen.
I think that's one of the. I circled 3 games, and that was one of them. Memorial Harlingen is amazing because neither one of those teams is truly, totally there yet.
Now, you've seen Harlingen play this year. You were at the Bird Bowl. Will they be able to stop Charles?
I think they have fast people. They're not very big. They have fast people on defense. Obviously, Nathan Prado in the middle is one of the better players around. I think they'll be able to contain him to an extent. I feel like, but that's okay because you got Joel Alonso that can take it the distance in a hurry too. My point here is that I'm not sure either Harlingen or Memorial really. And then these are teams that were both 3 deep last year. These are the 2 best teams in the valley. Both of them are still good, but both of them are built of a lot of new guys. I like Memorial up front on the interior lines. They got more size. They're stronger than Harlingen. I think Harlingen's probably more versatile. They'll throw the ball a lot better. And so, to me, it's a pick-em. It's a total pick-em. The fact that you're at Bogus Stadium, and I believe is where the game is, that would probably let me install Harlingen as a 3-point favorite.
3 points, which is the home line.
Yeah. Both teams should be happy with what's happened so far, but I don't think they want to stop here. They're used to going way deep in the playoffs. This is a great football game.
First round is not.
No. Now who do they play if they win? So let's see.
We got
Harlingen Memorial will play the winner of United and Sherryland, which is an intriguing and an amazing game for the Rattlers.
Sherryland is going to be looking for blood.
And they're going to get it.
Big rematch. You know, they want it. What was the number you just came up with?
553 points, a Valley record for 10 games.
That's a lot of points.
Yeah, just barely. They beat out Harlingen of last year. They beat out Memorial 06, Westlaco 07, Mission in 90. So, I mean, this is the highest scoring team, the most prolific team in Valley history, regular season.
Averaging more than 50 points.
55, more or less.
You would assume that they'd be coming out, and they're just going to put them up again.
Yeah, and United last year was a better team than it is this year. It will score some points. It will get up and down the field, but they're only 3-7. Yeah. They lost to Alexander. This is not their
another
big
type
year.
of playoff team that we were talking about.
Exactly. So, I mean, the Radio District was average this year. They're average. I think Sherryland's going to beat them unmercifully. Now, it gets a little tougher in the second round, right?
Yeah.
Because they got either Memorial or Harlingen. That's fun. We're talking about Division I right now, the big schools, right? I think I'd like to see Sherryland and Harlingen because people wanted to see it for so many years.
Got you.
But I'd also like to see Sherryland Memorial because that's always a great game. Those teams hate each other, right?
They're neighbors.
That's right. And they choose to be in the same district, and the fact that they're not in the same district is lunacy. And I hope in one more year down the road we can get some of these districts back to where they need to be.
Yeah.
But those are 2 great football games right there.
Yeah. And you know Garrett Sharp's going to be all over the field in both games if they make the second round and play Sherryland. But for sure against Harlingen.
I feel like Memorial has solidified into a very good football team. Harlingen the same way. early on and intermittently. We weren't sure about the Mustangs, and we weren't always sure about the Cardinals. They started 0-2 and got blasted by a Johnson team that didn't even make the playoffs.
Exactly.
that San Antonio Johnson team beat Harlingen 36-0 and ended up not making the playoffs.
You see, and then also Memorial's quarterback has finally come along.
Well, they run 2 men out, right? So
Chrysler. The last game I saw him, he came around and
he ran for a long touchdown.
He did. It was against Mackay. Now, granted, Mackay was on the way out. I don't know.
On the way out, Mackay is out, man. That's crazy.
But he did have that game, and I think that game is what helped them get to that point where they're at right now.
I can buy that
because the confidence level.
I can buy that. You know, everybody was waiting for them to find some sort of balance on offense. Now, I got news for you though. They're not going to have that much balance. They're not a balanced team. They can live with that. You know, yeah. And until such time as those young kids develop a little more, they need another off season of working in the offense, and they're going to be fine. Bottom line is the team they have right now going into this game right here is physically, I think, superior to Harlingen.
Yeah.
Now, Harlingen has a lot of tradition on its side, and it's got a good back in its own right. Dion Conde is tough, man. If you don't think he can go to the house, you ask Harlingen South, because he went 56 just like that over at Bogus Stadium. It's a pick 'em. Sharon should win big. Memorial Harlingen come down to a field goal, and the winners play each other in 2 weeks. And the only regret I have is that I'm going to be in Oklahoma for Thanksgiving because I'm a redneck, and so I'm going to miss that second round of playoff games. I cannot understand how this actually happened. I'm thinking of chasing after my wife with a wet towel because this is a very bad thing. It's okay. Es la vida ni modo. We'll move on.
You want to get into San Antonio?
No, I'll tell you what I want to get into. Let's stay with the 5As in the Valley here first.
Okay.
By way of San Antonio, because we're going to talk about the fact that if the Edinburgh city wants to see its football teams play, it's got to go to San Antonio. What a weird thing. You know, I personally, and I'm going to make this very brief, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think that if a team has a better record, then they should get a home game. I mean, what happened to that in the old days? That's not what you did, man. I don't know. You ever seemed like you had a better chance? You know, I don't know. Maybe you use a weighted coin in the cafeteria. All I can say is that it's kind of a downer to win the right to play in the playoffs and have to travel all the way to the Alamo Dome to do it. Oh well, that's my negative political screed, and then we're on to the happy thing.
So they both made the playoff, Economides and Edinburgh North. Economides did finally. They're going to be on the front page of the Edinburgh Review.
Edinburgh Economides. Let me tell you, man, it was fun to see them celebrate. We'll see how much they can regroup and play football down the road. They ran for 442, still didn't throw for that much. The defense was gouged, absolutely gouged, for 281 passing yards in the first half. Basilio from Palmview was going bananas. They were down 21-17. Then they were down 28-24. But in the third and fourth quarter, the Jags asserted themselves. That offensive line is the key to that team, man. Gabe Pena is known for a long time that those 3-year seniors, man, Hugo Jimenez, Luis Prieto, all those cats, those are the guys that make it go. And the backs are wonderful, and the quarterback's good, but the offensive line is the heart and soul of the Jags. And they're going to need them against a tough Del Rio team.
Yeah. And then, so Edinburgh North, how do you think they're going to fare? You've watched them all year.
Yeah, well, I've seen more North than anybody. I think I like the team. It's very solid. It takes on the personality of its coach. Very steady, very cool, like Roy Garza. That team can win against Eagle Pass, and without putting the Malojo on them, they should win. Eagle Pass is not that great. They're 5-5. They did win their last game, which was against Eagle Pass. Win 13-7. Listen, if you're beating Win 13-7, you ain't that great. They got beat by Del Rio 49-0. All North has to do is come out and play football. They're getting healthy at the right time. Adrian Alvarez came back and rushed for 100. The new kid, Whiteside's had 100.
Yeah.
The defense played well. No, it's right out there in front of Edinburgh North. They just got to worry about the trip and the layover and the eating and all that nonsense, man. I wish they could play at home or somewhere, even in the valley, like out in Roma or somewhere. Yeah. But I think they're going to win. I do. Right. I think the Jags have a very tough muster. Del Rio's good. They're 8-2. They won 8 in a row. We kind of talked about it last week. The fact remains, if they can run the ball like they've been doing all year, and they have over more than 3,000 yards rushing to the Jags, then they'll have a chance.
Nice.
Only problem, we mentioned it last week. Remember I told you turnovers? Well, they gave it away 4 times against Palmview, and it hurt them. And they almost didn't win that game because they kept screwing around, turning the ball over at the wrong time. The fact is, that's like an adolescent team learning to win, growing up, and they've done it. And so now you can't be satisfied. You got to go make it happen. Del Rio is not invincible. Del Rio is good. Del Rio is a favorite by at least a touchdown against the Jags. But so what? You're in the playoffs. Hey, nobody expected them to beat Donna back in 03 when they made the playoffs, so I think it can happen. Then they ran into, Corpus Christi King, I think, and lost. But congratulations to them. But don't even take no congratulations. You're working this week. Everyone else is at home. Win that playoff game. It can be done. And I wouldn't say it's a long shot, but it's going to be difficult.
The road is definitely going to play a factor in there, and granted, these kids haven't been to the playoffs before.
They haven't been to the playoffs at all, but boy, they're high as kites right now. And I would add that they're 4-1 on the road. For some reason, the Jags have been a good team. Too bad they can't play out at La Jolla. They're doing pretty good out there lately. They won a couple of games out there, right? So that's good. Now, what about the other games involving a 5A playoff team?
Here we go. Here's the big one. Harlingen South and McAllen Rowe. Rematch.
It is a rematch. Were you at that game August 31st?
I was.
Excuse me, I've been sick all week. I thought I was going to come on the show in a pine box. 24-16, right?
That's a very manageable score. I think Javi Obregon has grown up beyond growing up since that game.
Yeah. He just keeps getting better every week.
Exactly.
Every week he does something that we go, what? You got to be kidding. Yeah. So now he runs into a team in the South that actually has a pretty good defense. You take away the Bird Bowl, and they gave up 38 points. They don't give up a ton of points. They're good tacklers, and I think that they're a good matchup for Rowe. I mean, it's going to be one of those games. It'll probably be another one of those damn video games.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, but these are the type of games these kids like to play. So something in their comfort level, and they're just going to go at it. I really do think against Wesco East. I mean,
which by the way, do I get to now say that I think that Rowe is for real? Because I think that they are, man. I'm telling you. I mean, going over and beating East like that really proves how good that team is. Paul, I'll tell you what, man, that group is very laudable for the effort they've made, and I think they can keep it going. I actually feel like they're going to beat South.
I feel their way also because they're at home, and it's very difficult to beat a team twice in one season, no matter what level of football you're playing.
Yeah, they're going to be familiar with them, but things change over 10 weeks too. So I don't know, man. Playing at home sometimes when they get it going on that turf, although Rowe can play anywhere. Yeah. You could put them on a skating rink and they'd probably be pretty good. Okay, so then Rowe against South and then East against Brownsville Vets, right? Now, of course, the thing is, the winner of the South and Rowe game will probably get North. We'll probably get Edinburgh North. That's the matchup. That would be interesting because,
That's exactly what it is.
Right. Yeah. Edinburgh North has a great defense. I mean, really, they're averaging what? I don't know, they give up 14 points, 180-something yards. They're a good defense. So seeing how they would scheme to stop Rowe would be interesting. That would be fascinating. I think that actually might happen. I think we're looking at Rowe and Edinburgh.
I would hope so. I would love to see that game. There's no other way. I want to see Rowe just...
So Memorial and Rowe are in from McAllen. Edinburgh's got two teams in.
Edinburgh's got two teams.
PSJ area.
Blanked out.
No teams. That is hard to believe. I mean, that to me is one of the shockers of the season. I mean, you knew there'd be some casualties because of this crazy district, but man, I sure expected PSJ Memorial to be up there close. And the Raiders, poor Raiders, man, they were looking great for a while.
I mean, they were actually looking the best out of the three schools. And they
incredible, man.
So you got a Wesco team that got in, and Wesco East, obviously a district champ.
And Mission is the center, as we said, of the universe because Vets is in against Flower Bluff. Sherryland's in against United. United. And then Mission is in against, boy, talk about a downer, man. They got to play Ray. And now Ray's not, 1980 Raiders or something. I mean, they're pretty good. They were going to have an easy game.
They were.
And then weird things happened up there in the 31-4, and that changed, man.
And Mercedes was supposed to have.
That's right. Mercedes was the beneficiary. Mercedes is the beneficiary. Those cats may go 3 deep, man. Of course, they're going to have to play Cal Allen second round. They're going to beat Alice, I believe, but then they're going to have to play either. Cal Allen plays Medina Valley, who's actually very good, 8-2. Cal Allen's only 8-2, but it's still a very good team. So Mercedes is looking at an exceedingly difficult second-round game. EdCast, on the other hand, has who? Miller? Who is Miller? Miller was out of the race 20 minutes ago. They beat Ray 46-42. It was an amazing game. And so they're in the playoffs. Nixon is out. See, Mission would have played Nixon, and they would have beat them like stepchildren, man, I'm telling you. Now they got Ray, and they're not in a happy place offensively right now, are the Mission Eagles, okay? So they're actually...
They struggled.
They
struggled
beat
against Mercedes.
They got beat, and they didn't look good, and I was not impressed. And you know what? The thing is, I have been impressed with them all year. That's a good football team. They're going to get it together. They're going to play Ray hard. I would hate to see Michigan go 9-0, lose that one game, lose their mojo, and then get beat by district. Because of the way things have changed, that could happen. I'm not predicting that it will, and I certainly, from a Valley perspective, hope that it doesn't. But they need to look out, man, because Ray is not a bad team. They score 43 points a game. That is a lot.
It is.
So Edcouch has Miller. Now Miller, look, here's the deal about Miller. Edcouch will probably beat them like 50-0, all right? Because Miller did their one neat thing of the year, and they're not that good a team. I mean, that district had 3 good teams, and that was it. So basically, Edcouch is looking good there. But then, guess what? Port Lavaca, Calhoun. I don't want to go to that game. I don't want to hear about it unless they get score a record 100 points. It's going to be terrible because Port Lavaca, Calhoun is as good as it's ever been. It's in the top 10, and it, like I said last year, has a chance to win state.
Yeah.
So Edcouch better win that by district. Mercedes better win that by district. I think they both will. I really feel like they will. Veterans is up against Flower Bluff. I doubt that they will. Mission, God, that's a pick 'em, man. I just felt like walking out of Tom Landry Stadium the other night, and I love Mission, man. I love Mario Pena. That's my guy. I just felt like they were a little bit confused at the wrong time, and I felt like they're just not playing good football right now.
You know, Greg, it's kind of a cliche, but the coach always addresses the team after a loss or a win.
Yeah.
And in that huddle, I think you were talking to the Mercedes at that moment, but in that huddle, there was a lot of emotion in that huddle.
Yeah.
And
what kind? Were they mad?
They were mad, but there was also some crying, but they were emotional. But their coach made sure to point out to them and said, I see you guys crying, and I'm glad because that means you care, and we're going to come back and work at it and get at it.
Hey, man, all psychology. I like that. Now, because you got to do something.
Exactly.
You get your butt beat at home by a team that you thought you could beat, and you got to do something. You can't just walk away.
You should have beat them at home.
Yeah, man. I mean, of course, Mercedes is so tricky. Those guys, 6 games between 1 and 10 points. I mean, they play the close games. Guzman is a little bowling ball. I'm impressed with that guy. He's so good, man.
Right. But if you really look at their offense, he was the bulk of their offense.
Yeah, he very much was because Isaiah didn't have a lot of time to throw because the mission linebackers were all over him. Sometimes it pays to be on a roll at the end.
Yeah.
And it doesn't pay to lose. West Locolos, Fresnos both lost going into the playoffs. Who's going to get it together and win, right? What about Donna and Alexander? You think Donna can beat Alexander? I think they're going to beat the Bucks.
Yeah, I think so. I think Donna's, not that they've been doing it quietly, but they don't get the same media attention that Sharyland.
They did for a while, for like 2 weeks.
And then they lost
leading up to the game,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And then they lost. So, no, they can go. No, Donna, who are they going to end up having playing? Let me look at this up.
Donna's at...
Donna's going to end up playing, if they make it to the third round, either Judson or O'Connor. Yeah. I'd say they're going to get Los Fresnos because I don't think West Loco's doing very well. It's West Loco, Los Fresnos. The winner plays probably Donna because Donna's got this game against the Economides. You have to figure right now that Donna's a heavy favorite, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what heavy is. 14 maybe? What would you say? Of course, we're probably not supposed to be doing that. But we're trying to gauge it and analyze it.
Yeah, a couple of touchdowns, I would say. Yeah, a couple
of
touchdowns sounds about right.
Economides can throw everything into a dither by upsetting the team they play. I don't know if they're going to do it, but they might. Who knows?
I hope it happens.
Look, that's what it's all about come playoff time, Pete. You just never know what's going to happen. So, I think that's a pretty comprehensive look at the playoff picture. I mean, we've been thinking about it and talking about it all weekend. Bottom line is next week we come back and there's going to be a lot fewer teams playing high school football in Texas.
But there will hopefully be a couple of Valley matchups.
There will, yeah, and that's what we like in the second round is those great Valley matchups like West Loco and Memorial last year was a great game. I wonder if Sharyland Harlingen is going to happen. Or even Sharyland Memorial. Either one, I think, will be a nice second-round Valley match.
It will, and it will definitely draw in the crowd in both games.
That's what we love, and that's what we're talking about here on Talking Sports. Greg Selber, Pete Pettis. Check the website during the week. We're going to have stuff going up, and as Pete mentioned, dig our new redesign, because I think that we potentially have a winner here. I think we had one before, but now we're looking even better. We really appreciate the patronage, guys. We're out of here. Peace to you.